This train wasn't on the schedule, I knew that for sure. I checked 3 times, the last train had left an hour ago and the platform was nearly empty. Only a few buzzing lights remained, and somewhere in the distance rails creaked. I was about to leave when I heard it, a dull, heavy sound. A train was approaching, but too slowly. I turned around. Out of the darkness it crawled in. No lights, no numbers, just black carriages like they were carved out of the night itself. It stopped right in front of me. The doors opened on their own. No one got off, and no one got on. Except me. I don't know why I did it. Inside it was silent, too silent, even for a night train. The lights flickered, as if they couldn't decide whether to stay on or die. I sat by the window. The train started moving immediately, violently, too violently for an empty train. I looked outside. Nothing. No station, no lights, just darkness, and my reflection. At first I didn't notice anything strange, but then I saw it. In the reflection I was sitting, but the carriage was full. People. They were sitting all around me, motionless, watching. I turned around, empty. I looked back. They were closer. Now I could see their faces grey, lifeless, and their eyes too dark. One of them smiled. I stood up. The train shook. The lights went out for a second. When they came back on, someone was sitting in front of me. I didn't hear him arrive. He was staring directly at me, not blinking. "You got on at the wrong station," he said quietly. I tried to leave, but the door was gone, just gone. Only a wall remained. The train sped up, faster, too fast. The lights began to crackle, and then I realized all the reflections in the windows were moving, but not like they should. They were getting closer, from the glass, hands, first one, then more, reaching through the reflection toward me. I screamed, but no one answered. Only the man in front of me leaned closer and whispered, "Next stop, you." The lights went out completely, and when I opened my eyes, I was sitting by the window. The train was stopped. The doors opened. People stood on the platform. They walked in, slowly, sat down, and looked at me. I tried to stand, but I couldn't. I wasn't moving anymore, only watching, as they took their seats, as the train started again, and in the window I saw a reflection, where one person was still trying to stand. At first I thought that was the end, that it couldn't get any worse, but the train never stopped. Not really. People kept entering at every station, if those were even stations. Sometimes there was nothing outside but endless corridors of light. Sometimes only darkness, with something moving alongside the train. I tried counting the stops. I lost track at 3 or 30. Time didn't work here. Sometimes a passenger would stand up, slowly, with a creaking sound, like their body hadn't moved in years. They would walk to a door that hadn't existed before. The door appeared only for them. It would open, and behind it there was no floor, only a fall, but they never screamed. Not once. They just disappeared. And every time there was one more person in the reflection. Then I noticed something else. Sometimes the reflection lagged. I would turn my head, and only a second later the me in the glass would follow. And once it didn't follow at all. I stood up suddenly, but in the window I was still sitting, and slowly turned my head toward me. That's when I understood I wasn't on the right side anymore, and the one in the reflection was trying to get out. The train began to slow down. For the first time, metal screamed across the carriage. That same faceless voice whispered, "Final stop." The doors opened, but now I knew not those who wanted to leave would leave, only those who were chosen. Someone stood next to me, placed a hand on my shoulder, cold, familiar. I turned my head and saw myself, real, terrified, alive. He looked at me the same way I once looked at the window. "Please," he whispered, but the train had already chosen, and in the next moment I was on the other side of the glass, and he took my place. The train moved again, as if nothing had happened, only now. When you look at your reflection in a dark window, sometimes it watches you a little longer than it should.